There's no doubt that this pandemic is going to cause economic hardship on the country. More than likely, we're going to head into a recession. I don't know how we can't. And instead of writing checks, the elected's got to focus on how do we get ourselves out with good paying jobs? And the answer is pretty easy. You build your way out.
If that dark time comes, like we say, chances are high that it is going to come. The first thing that needs to be put into place is job opportunity, focusing in on that infrastructure spending, because that's what's going to put our guys to work.
So it's a given that we are for infrastructure spending because it puts carpenters to work. But let's go away from that and just talk about what infrastructure does for our country. We have a majority of the bridges across this country that either need to be replaced or need to be retrofitted because they're outdated. How many of you drove a freeway here to get here today? And although the traffic's a little bit less because of the pandemic, we need to get people off the freeway. Every minute you spend on a freeway is a minute you could be doing something productive.
We got this bullet train coming up, Vegas to Rancho Cucamonga. It's going to spike off to Burbank. You're going to have one coming off to Anaheim. That's going to be wide open to where getting people to work, maybe 15 years from now. But we've got to be thinking about it. Meantime, though, we got to make sure that union carpenters building that train. That's quality infrastructure.
We talk about alternative energy. Wind and solar power is infrastructure. We could be a world leader in climate change by green power with the solar and the wind. We could be the leader in the world leader in broadband and what that means to reaching out to those that live in the remote areas. Frank talked about the high-speed rail. That is good for our people. That's good for our country. So infrastructure, anyone that's a politician, regardless of the letter that you have behind your name, they should be 100% for infrastructure spending. It should be a huge number, and they shouldn't take no for an answer.
You know, people think of infrastructure in the traditional sense. My hometown, infrastructure is tourism. So I want to see airport expansions, all prevailing wage work. That Raiders Stadium, that was considered an infrastructure project. And also the convention center expansion. We love trade shows in that town. We love to see people coming. I look at this bullet train, it's only going to escalate the tourism. That's infrastructure at its finest there. We finish up, we turn over the keys to, say, that Rams Stadium, that Raiders Stadium. When we do that, how many people are going to work there on Sundays?
Thousands.
Absolutely. But people have to remember that that Raiders Stadium and that convention center, it was a lump sum deal. We passed it by one vote in the legislature. One vote. And I'll tell you, we were running 7 days a week, 12, 14 hours a day, hitting every one of them legislators, twisting arms, saying, we need this. This is infrastructure puts people to work. And so, listen, if we could have our members getting this enthusiastic about carpenter economics, infrastructure spending, community wealth, we could push these electeds into doing what we need to be done.
I would ask our membership that when they get out to vote and they hit the voting booth or they mail their ballot, that they mail it in with carpenter economics in mind. When they hear infrastructure, that's mine. That's my baby. That's what's going to help me get to the next level. So I think our members have to also understand and identify and raise the eyebrow when they hear that word. Boom, they've got to jump on board and make sure they do everything they can to make that happen.
We're up to bat with the Louisville Slugger, and we should swing from the heels. That infrastructure bill will put people to work. We'll build our way out of that recession, and we won't be looking back and saying, boy, that was our time. The stars were lined up, and we didn't take a swing. We watched the fastball right down the middle hit the catcher's mitt. We have to be ready to put in place a team that's going to be able to make those right choices And that right choice is a jobs bill, an infrastructure bill, build our way out of this, put people to work, get that money back in the economy. It's our time.